hotties. The content broadcast on this show is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's Good Morning
Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोगों को हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते.
नमस्कार.
वलकम.
नमस्कार.
खुशामदी.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
सत श्री अकाल.
वीकांद्र की वंदनम.
जय स्वामी नारायण.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय जिनेंद्र.
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं या अली मदद.
मौला अली मदद बोलते हैं सारे फीजी बंदर बोलेंगे नीसा बोला बन हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारा. मैं से फालतू बाबा.
And of course, myself, Faltu Rani, लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's gonna make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बन जाने.
True, that बन जाने. Faltu नहीं तो मालूम है we actually rung in the new year.
Yeah.
Right, 12 बजे को हम ringing किया था sharp, right?
Yeah.
We actually went live also on Facebook. Bandus also were there with us and all, right?
Huh.
You remember we just suddenly realized something about this particular year 2022.
That things are flying.
I know. Before you could know it was 12, but it was 8 past 12 midnight. That's like we by the time हमारे इर्द-गिर्द में जो थे उनको wish करते ही इतना जल्दी हो गया. Can you imagine, Father? It's already completing a week right now in the year. 7th of January, Father. It's like, oh my God, unbelievable speed. Oh my God, unbelievable speed of 2022. I hope it stays this way and we get over the 2022 and get over all the COVID, Omicron situations and all, and get back to kind of normalcy of ours. But anyway, आजकल तो ये जो हमारे culture में मुखवास बार में तो कब नहीं? Mukhwas was generally a system where used to go have somf in the restaurants now, right?
Correct.
आजकल हम बस what do you call that? Mask ही पहनते हैं.
Yeah.
मुख क्या होता है उसको? It's called मुख something, right?
वस्त्र.
मुखवस्त्र. Well, Baja will come back to it anyways, Baja. लेकिन अभी के लिए I know you guys are wondering what's happening on the roads because for the past couple of days the traffic was very light on the roads, Bajan. But here you go, रास्ते का हाल total सस्ते में.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
Then if you have a traffic update something we share with you guys, and अगर हमने share भी नहीं किया हो तो अगर आप लोग share करना तो call कीजिएगा for sure, because we are after all human beings and we have to rely upon reporting by CHP जो हमें screen पे आता है बन जाना, so what we actually share with you guys. Now the point is when we actually talk about the road traffic, the frequency of traffic, or should I say the traffic load जो होती है road पे, right? It is still light, Faltu. You won't believe it. This whole week has been pretty light. Why? I don't know. Is it because Omicron scare? Is it because people actually are having the flu? What is it? Because every other person we know actually is down with the flu. Every other person. I'm not kidding. अगर हमने 10 लोग मालूम है 10 में से 5 लोग definitely have the flu. Right, or some kind of symptoms of that, and they're very nervous about what's happening with that. Now, but nevertheless, the traffic is light, but incidents are not light at all. Incidents काफी सारे चल रहे हैं. There's a fog advisory on 680 northbound and southbound at the via San Gabriel in Fremont area. Drive very carefully there. It's a mountain, so that's beautiful weather. Yes, I like it. I like to drive in the fog, but it also is dangerous. A disabled vehicle actually has been reported on 580 eastbound at the 13 in southbound 13 in Oakland area. Banjan, watch out for that. And speaking of fog and everything, how it affects, well, actually, Banjan, sometimes you will actually have a bumper to bumper as well. You can actually have those incidents like what happened right now it's a traffic collision actually on 80 westbound, west of 4th Street. Now, when you actually talk about this collision on 80, it's actually going to be not like head-on collision. It's going to be something like a bumper to bumper. People wouldn't have judged the distance between the two cars because of fog. So, please pay attention and be more cautious when driving there. And of course, today, a couple of days ago, Father talked about this NBC report which came out about the number of potholes on the roads. CHP reporting a pothole on 280 northbound.
Wow.
280, the main street. And 280, I know many people actually go blindly on 280. Please drive very carefully. There's actually the split of the one and in Delhi city. There's a split, 280 splits into one, right? Already the climate over there is pretty much foggy. You got to be careful about that. Second thing is, वहाँ पे you have to be more cautious because though it's a freeway, There are a lot of other traffic in the place, and watch out for this pothole reported there by CHP. So I hope it will be sealed up. What happened?
Isn't it like a drop on one side on 280?
No. This is the one near the zoo.
Oh, okay, up there. Okay,
Yeah,
up north.
there are a lot of houses like matchboxes there. That one
Correct.
kind of, it's not like a big freeway. It's only 2-lane. But again, 2-lane also the potholes. Matlab, you can imagine how it's going to be, right? Please drive very carefully. And also, a traffic hazard has been reported by the CHP on 280 northbound, south of the Alpine Road in Menlo Park. It's not affecting traffic though, but there's a hazard on the road. And also disabled vehicle, a few exits from there near the Footle Expressway, so watch out for that as well. And apart from that, Baji, I don't see any other information about any kind of accidents. That's all I have right now on my screen. But drive carefully, Banjan. Weather-wise, you look at it, it's going to be a little bit cloudy. We might have some rains here and there, but it will dry up for sure. As in, the rains are going to stop eventually. But it's going to be cloudy all day. So if you're going to stepping out of there, definitely make sure you layer up and don't do what Faltoni does. Layer up, stay warm.
What do you mean don't do what Falturani does? I always wear a jacket.
Yeah, right, whatever. You'll be wearing a cold shoulder and going out there, and singing a song also, by the way.
Whatever.
Yeah. And what song do you sing, Falturani? When you go dancing out in the cold? Well, I think you like the cold weather, don't you?
I like cold weather more than hot weather.
Yeah, that's why you actually have a cold always, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Khas host hai hamari Banjan.
Hanji.
And right now let's go. That's all I have the traffic update. Can you imagine, Banjan? But now it's time for us to go and see what's happening with the news. Faltani, what do you have as news for Bandus?
Well, Bandujan, let's tell you a little bit about the coronavirus. The CDC is predicting that more than 84,000 people in the United States could die of
Wow.
COVID-19 over the next month.
Next year, seriously.
Yeah, they're saying more than 84,000 people can die. According to a CNN report, health experts say this forecast may not even fully account for the emergence of the Omicron variant and the spike in cases linked to holiday travel. Yesterday, the World Health Organization said global coronavirus cases increased sharply last week in comparison to the previous week. In New South Wales, the most populous state in Australia, authorities have announced new crackdowns on large gatherings prohibiting singing, dancing, pubs, clubs, and restaurants. But in California, local health officials say next month's Super Bowl is expected to go ahead as planned.
Oh no.
In Los Angeles, despite the latest surge of cases in the
Seriously, they actually don't. I sometimes feel like these officials are the ones who are actually creating all this problem.
Well, COVID-19 hospitalizations in the US is going to be hitting a new high, is what they're saying, as early as today, according to a Reuters tally as well, which is surpassing the record set in January of last year as the highly contagious Omicron variant fuels a surge in the number of cases. Hospitalizations have increased steadily since late December as Omicron quickly overtook Delta as the dominant strain of the coronavirus in the United States, although experts say Omicron will likely prove less deadly than other variants. While deemed less severe, health officials are warning that the sheer number of infections caused by Omicron could strain hospital systems, some of which have already shown signs of distress, partly due to staffing shortages.
Didn't we already have a shortage of beds already? There were a couple of counties in LA, in California itself, who actually reported we only have one bed remaining, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Especially the one in the Lake Tahoe, right? That side.
What county was that? I forgot.
But anyway, it was actually last week, Banujan, and that's what I was worrying right now.
So the CDC director Rochelle Walensky is saying, I don't believe we've seen the peak yet here in the United States. She said on today's show, as schools and businesses also struggled with rising caseloads.
Wait a minute. She said she doesn't...
We haven't seen the peak yet.
So in other words...
She expects a peak.
Wow, Faltu, this actually is a great message.
Yeah.
This is like a very important message. People should understand. CDC going public and talking about it. Yeah, I thought only Fauci did it, but no, even CDC does it.
CDC is
Always does it on today's show?
They actually give you the guidelines and they tell you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, but they don't go on today's show and say that, right, out loudly.
They do.
They have done right now.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to do, Fatani? What is a common man like you and I?
I don't know. A lot of school districts are struggling. In fact, locally here in the Bay Area, There is news with regard to two East Bay school districts where they've seen a COVID-19 surge, and because teachers are out sick because of this, and they are having to actually close almost. The West Contra Costa Unified School District said it's closing all schools on Friday and Monday to give teachers time to recover and allow schools to be deep cleaned, while Oakland Unified School District is keeping their schools open despite the growing threat of a mass teacher sick out on Friday. It's hard at the thought of pivoting on a dime, said Giselle Mirua of Oakland. Mirua told NBC that it has been an abnormal start to 2022 for her two daughters, a 5th grader and a 1st grader at Sequoia Elementary in Oakland. In fact, locally, I heard that yesterday there was a big deliberation that went late into the night at the Milpitas Unified School District, which is local, and they also are looking to pivot and change to virtual learning. Starting January 10th, going up to January 15th.
Why do I always, when you use the word pivot, I imagine somebody moving a sofa or a whole sofa set up a staircase?
Yeah, that's because of the pivot made popular by Ross in Friends. Anyway, these two districts, West Contra Costa and Oakland Unified, are grappling with a rising number of coronavirus cases locally here in the Bay Area as well, Banujan. And
by the way,
also,
we just got some news on Facebook as well. People actually reporting to us online. People also sending information about us. Vishalji, good morning to you. He's listening to it. He says Santa Clara City Hall also is going to be closing next week.
oh wow.
And same with the PD department. PD over there, the PD lobby is going to be closed for public
Yeah.
starting next week. Oh my goodness. So they did something serious. We've got to be mindful of this.
Yeah, because there's been a surge, right? So the other issue is, especially those of you who take public transportation, you need to be mindful and watchful of this, Manajan. Alameda Contra Costa transit bus service will likely be delayed with the possibility of temporarily cancelling lines
Oh my God.
starting today because of the recent rapid rise in COVID-19 cases among employees. AC Transit reported a spike in positive cases of the virus among bus operators, mechanics, and other workers that is impacting their service. Routes that come every 15 minutes may now come every 30 minutes. According to the agency, which said it may have to temporarily cancel a line depending on staff availability and the need to prioritize other lines, is what they're saying at this point in time. Also, California lawmakers have been absent after possible virus exposure at a party. Some California lawmakers, including Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon, missed Thursday's legislative session after attending a party with a lawmaker who later tested positive for coronavirus. Rendon, who has since tested negative, instructed anyone who attended the Tuesday party to stay home rather than attend the legislative session. His spokeswoman, Katie Talbot, said in a statement, state health guidelines don't require people who are vaccinated and boosted to isolate following possible exposure, but Rendon made the request out of an abundance of caution, she said. The event is was a going-away party for Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, who announced Monday that she was resigning for a position with the California Labor Federation. The Los Angeles Times reported, and the party was held in downtown Sacramento Hotel, is what they're saying. In other news from across the United States, let's tell you, this is really interesting. One company that has been doing really well is Apple, right? They hit that 3 trillion cap, right?
Yeah.
Apple Inc.'s boss, Tim Cook, his pay was 1,447 times that of the average employee at the tech giant. A filing on Thursday showed 1,447 times. It's not 1,447 more. It's the average employee's pay times 1,447.
That's always been disparity in the Bay Area, right? The CEOs always get the highest because they are the ones who probably will go to jail if something happens. The liability they take on, right?
Yeah, and this is also fueled by stock awards that helped him earn a total of, guess how much, Altwara?
Let me guess, $2.5 billion?
No, $100 million.
100 million, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Change. What, compared to what Elon Musk earned right now is the richest man in the world, if you don't know about that.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
he's become the richest man in the world right now.
Okay. in 2021, the median pay for employees at Apple was $68,254. Apple said, adding it had selected a new median employee for comparison due to changes in hiring and compensation.
Good one, good one.
The median pay in 2020 was $57,783, and the pay ratio was 256 times cook's salary.
Wow. Now this is going to make all the cooks in the world jealous right now.
Yeah, the iPhone maker, of course, has benefited from strong demand over the past 2 years as consumers working from home splurged on upgrades. Apple's revenue rose more than 30% to $365.82 billion for its fiscal 2021, and shares briefly crossed $3 trillion in market cap this year. So, everybody working at Apple, celebrate. Sad news for those in the entertainment industry. I know he was one of my dad's favorite directors, filmmakers, and actors. Sidney Poitier, who broke through racial barriers as the first black winner of the Best Actor Oscar for his role in Lilies of the Field, and inspired a generation during the civil rights movement, has died at age 94, an official from the Bahamian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said on Friday. Eugene Torkin Nuri, acting Director General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, confirmed Poitier's death. Poitier created a distinguished film legacy in a single year with 3 1967 films at a time when segregation prevailed in much of the United States. In a movie called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, my dad was crazy about this movie. He loved this movie. He played a black man with a white fiancée, and in Heat of the Night, he was Virgil Tibbs, a black police officer confronting racism during a murder investigation. He also played a teacher in a tough London school that year in the movie To Sir with Love. Poitier had won his history making Best Actor Oscar for Lilies of the Field in 1963, playing a handyman who helps German nuns build a chapel in the desert. 5 years before that, Poitier had been the first black man nominated for a lead actor Oscar for his role in the movie The Defiant Ones. Citigroup has decided to enforce a no jab, no job policy starting Jan 14th. They, according to sources familiar with the matter, making it the first major Wall Street institution to implement a strict COVID-19 vaccine mandate. The move comes as the financial industry, which has long been keen to get back to business, as usual, grapples with how to safely bring workers back to the office amid the spread of the highly infectious Omicron COVID variant.
This is the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
Imagine corporate world saying no jab, no job. The Federal Postal Service now asking for exemption for postal workers for vaccination.
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine? This is what America is all about.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. A local Los Altos company, Banajan, we got to be very proud of them. It's a company called ASCA at, the Consumer Electronics, what do you call that? The CES, right? The whole expo that happens. This company, ASCA, has showed off its version of a flying car.
Flying car?
Yes, and it's a Los Altos company.
Los Altos, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of monies.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Altu Baba, there is I love this news item and I can't wait for this, and I am going to probably buy this car if at that point, if I am still.
Is it Lucid?
Well, there is something called the BMW Flow Electric SUV concept that can actually change colors at the press of a button.
So sweet. Ideal for you, Fal. Don't even does this change? You can actually make sure your color matches your.
Going from white to grey or black and back again in moments. While it can't go beyond the shades of grey, and even at that, it lacks the subtlety and depth of real car paint. The effect is just startling.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. I've been thinking about this quite some time as to why can't we have. There is a concept in Xerox, which actually was almost 20 years ago. They came with a concept called e-paper, where the paper can change.
What?
Like how in Harry Potter the thing animation happens, right? So you actually can have something going on, the graphics on the paper.
What?
Yeah. It's there. It's called e-paper, and I don't know why it's not been implemented in the automobile industry. But then again, automobile industry takes around 20 years. It takes a long time for things to happen. It's like mating elephants.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they're saying that the trick actually, like I think what you're saying, is not done with paint actually.
Yeah.
But it's
It's a
with
vinyl.
specially formed wrapping
Yeah.
cut to fit the SUV's body panels, and this wrapping has some sort of e-ink technology.
Yeah, it actually has electrodes at the end of each of the things, so it actually sends those signals for it to be cut. But the problem with this kind of thing stuff, Padmani, it will not work for you.
Why?
A little bit of dent here and there, you suddenly have different kinds of graphics.
Oh,
A scratch here, gone.
I don't have any scratches
Not
and
you-
stuff.
I'm
It's-
not
if
saying
you are dry, I won't.
I'm
give it to
saying
you.
you're not the person getting the. I said like you give it to people who ride it. And some people, and when you park someplace, Padmani,
Yeah.
at your mansion is a different issue. When you park someplace, that's when you actually have those dents and scratches.
The colored panels were cut precisely to match the shape of the SUV body panels, and then electric wiring is attached to each section. Oh, I'm really curious to try it, but unfortunately they don't have it in pink and purple and red in those hues.
It'll come first always black, and then they explain other things. And actually there was a particular car sample which they made, no, it's not called a sample, it's called a prototype of color which can actually change from different hues.
Oh.
RGB is what they had. But the thing is, it will not wrap and won't last too much because, and given the speed you drive at 520, oh my god, it just peels off.
Whatever, man. I don't believe that. Anyway, Banajan, he just makes me out to be some kind of a speed demon, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
but
a very
actually,
safe driver.
but what Father is a very nice name for this car coming up right now. It's going to be a nice, sexy name for it. Vishalji gave a name for it as 50 Shades of Grey.
No, it's only 3 shades, by the way.
Yeah, no, shades of grey. So, 3 colors: grey,
Yeah, black, white.
and multiple tones in between. So it's 50 tones altogether.
That's okay. So it's a very sexy car.
That's what I said. My
Well, either
God.
ways, Banajan. I got an update, Altu Baba. I don't know if it popped up on your screen. Police activity has shut down an area surrounding 3rd and Cesar Chavez streets in San Francisco. So for those of you who are driving to the city in that area, according to the Department of Emergency Management, there's no other detail available, but emergency crews are at the scene. The focus of the activity appears to be around 1600 block of Tennessee Street in front of a hardware store. The police have asked public to avoid the area and expect delays on nearby streets, all around the nearby streets. And also, Bay Area residents are raising concerns over the accuracy of at-home COVID-19 tests after a number of people began reporting false negative results. Many Bay Area stores are out of these at-home antigen tests, and they don't know whether they will restock. But now those in-demand tests are also creating a bit of anxiety for some people. So, some families picked up their at-home test kits before their children returned to school in San Jose's Franklin McKinley School District on Thursday.
Alright, and now it's time for us to be going into a Gane Kira. If we come back and give you the world news, Jan. And as you know, we actually have a special going on where we actually celebrating the birthday of A.R. Rahman sir. Yesterday was his birthday, along with the son Amin, I suppose. And right now, this week, or at least till the weekend, we're going to have all about A.R. Rahman. And we're going to have a special show for him again this evening, Jan. The part 2 of the A.R. Rahman special from yesterday. But this is a beautiful song, Kun Faya Kun. What a wonderful day to play. It's Friday, Jumme ke din aise gana sunna bahut अच्छा लगता है. It's a beautiful song by A.R. Rahman, voiced by A.R. Rahman, and one of his favorites for Sufi voices, Javed Ali. And one more favorite of his, Mohit Chauhan.
रंग रेजा रंग रेजा ओ रंग रेजा कुन फाया 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 जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था में समाया वो जो तुझ में समाया मौला वही वही माया वो जो मुझ में समाया वो जो तुझ में समाया मौला वही वही माया कुन फयाकुन सदक़ल्लाहुल अलीयुल अज़ीम.
And of course, Bachchan, ये गाना beautiful song actually was used in the movie called Rockstar, and इसका थोड़ा और गाना बजेगा in a few minutes. Bachchan, लेकिन उससे पहले what we got to do is go and check out what's happening around the world. World news. We wondering if it's going to be affecting globally for it to become a pandemic all over again, Bachchan, because they just stepped down the grading of this particular virus, COVID. From a pandemic to epidemic, right?
No, they said endemic. We're
Endemic.
in the end stage of the
We're
virus.
supposed to be endemic, end stage of the virus. But,
That's what I heard, like, just before, we came back into this new year.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to have an end at all. So it's not been endemic. It is the beginning endemic.
It's on the... Well, I don't know. There's a lot of talk about how Omicron is possibly good because it's milder symptoms, but WHO has come out and now said that it's not really mild. It is definitely not as severe, but it's not mild by any standard.
Yeah, it's going to be there around, and you'll have to have a vaccination every year, like
Correct.
cattle.
Correct.
And the company is going to make money jabbing you. No jab, no job already came out. Now I don't know what's going to happen in the world. We all are going to be slaves of the jab.
Anyway, let's tell you, Banijan, there's been this situation in Kazakhstan has been really, really worrisome, especially with Russia also stepping in, saying that they are going to help with the peacekeeping efforts. But today, security forces appear to have reclaimed the streets of Kazakhstan's main city after days of violence, and the Russian-backed president said he had ordered his troops to shoot to kill to put down a countrywide uprising. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Anybody who is a protester
Yeah.
has official orders to be killed.
Or be killed.
Yeah. Actually to be killed, yeah. A day after Moscow sent paratroopers to help crush the insurrection, police were patrolling the debris-strewn debris-strewn streets of Almaty. It's although some gunfire could still be heard, dozens have died, and public buildings across Kazakhstan have been ransacked and torched in the worst violence the former Soviet Republic has experienced in 30 years of independence. Moscow has said that more than 70 planes were ferrying Russian troops into Kazakhstan, and that these were now helping control Almaty's main airport, recaptured on Thursday from protesters. The uprising has prompted a military intervention from Moscow at a time of high tension in the East-West relations, as Russia and the United States gear up for talks next week on the Ukraine crisis. In a news from the other news from Kazakhstan, Manajan, the opposition leader is now saying that the West must now pull Kazakhstan out of Moscow's orbit, or Russian President Vladimir Putin will draw the Central Asian state into a structure like the Soviet Union, a former minister who is now a Kazakh opposition leader told Reuters. Protests that began as a response to fuel price rise swelled this week into a broad movement against Nursultan Nazarbayev, who stepped aside as president in 2019 after decades in office but has still remained the real power in Kazakhstan. In news from India, Banajan, India's COVID-19 cases are set for new highs as the Omicron spreads. New daily infections have surged to 117,100 infections. New infections are set to be breaking a record, and severity is considered to be low due to infections and also vaccinations, is what experts are saying. There's been a 5-fold increase in 1 week, apparently, and India is on course to overtake its previous infection peak as this fast spreading Omicron variant replaces Delta in several cities. Government officials have privately said that they are working under the assumption that the daily infections are going to surpass a record of 414,000 set in May, given what has happened in countries such as the United States, where daily cases have risen past 1 million. In other news from India, Banujan, CM Uddhav Thackeray has come out and said that in Maharashtra they are shutting down and they're clamping down to make sure that they check the spread of the Omicron variant, and also online appointments for precautionary booster doses are going to start on Saturday evening, and new registration is not required. So that's another thing, that's a development from India. Booster shot doses are being scheduled right now. In the case of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's security breach in Punjab, Banajan, the Ministry of Home Affairs has issued a notice to the SSP at Bhatinda and 5 others, and the Union Home Ministry said that they issued show cause notices to Bhatinda Police Chief and 5 other senior officers for major lapses in security during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Punjab. The centre also supported a petition in the Supreme Court for a thorough probe into the security breach and sought involvement of the NIA in the investigation, as there was a possibility of an international terrorist angle. The centre's action comes 2 days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi had to cut short his visit to Punjab after he was stuck on a flyover for more than 20 minutes due to a blockade by some protesters. The incident was dubbed as a major lapse in security by the Home Ministry. According to PTI, Bhatinda Senior Superintendent of Police Ajay Maluja and 5 other officers were responsible for Modi's security during his visit to the state on January 5th, and they've been asked to actually reply to the Ministry of Home Affairs notices. In other news, a 7-day home quarantine has been mandated now for international arrivals, and the test is to be done on the 8th day, according to the centre in India. Excuse me. Passengers coming from at-risk countries and testing negative on arrival will also need to do the same. The centre has also updated its list of at-risk countries, which includes UK, South Africa, Brazil, Botswana, China, Ghana, Mauritius, New Zealand, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Hong Kong, Israel, Congo, Ethiopia, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Nigeria, Tunisia, and Zambia. These are the at-risk countries that have been added to the list in India. And in some, Bollywood news, Vanajan, in the most recent Instagram post, Alia Bhatt has finally come out in the open and referred to Ranbir Kapoor as her boyfriend for the very first time. That consists of a series of Alia's pics with the couple's New Year celebrations in Africa this year. They got out their camouflage gear and are headed into the wild to enjoy the quiet and serenity on a safari. And she says, casually flexing my boyfriend's photography skills, she captioned the post. So that's some other news that's coming out there. And in news about, this Kapil Sharma show, apparently, there's news coming out that his colleague attempted suicide. Shehnaz Gill had a special conversation with Sister Shivani, and while at the beginning of the year has been quite a mix with the television industry, Mohit Raina also supposedly surprised everyone with some wedding photos, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Somebody called Tirthanand Rao, I don't know who this guy is, I don't watch the show, but he is a colleague of Kapil Sharma, and he supposedly tried to end his life on December 27th and was saved in the nick of time. And he shared that financial woes and a family cutting off ties with him were the main reason that led him to consume a poison. And, a comedy show, which is supposed to be one of the most highly rated shows and highly paid shows, and to think that people are in such doldrums really is a shocking matter. So that's pretty much what we have from news from across India. Oh, I wanted to share this with you. You might really enjoy this if you like Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
Yes. Did I tell you that Taco Bell has started selling a $10 monthly taco subscription?
Oh, wow. That's wonderful for all the junkies out there. Very good.
Yes, exactly. For $10 a month, they can get one taco per day for 30 days.
Wow. Is that a good deal?
It is, actually.
Isn't that like eradicating hunger?
Sort of.
But if you like Mexican food, why can't even McDonald's do the same thing? Yeah.
Why
can't-
McDonald's?
Why not? They can have options. People have options, yeah.
Well, it's called a Taco Lovers Pass. So
Okay.
those of you who are like, I know a lot of Desi kids like Taco Bell. So this Taco
they're the ones
Lovers,
who don't need it.
huh?
They're the ones who don't need the
Why?
special deal.
$10 a month, they get 30 tacos a month, dude.
It's not going to help. They can afford.
Oh,
They can afford to eat. Come on. They can afford to eat good food.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But either ways, I'm really sad. Another thing, the 37 Bed Bath and Beyond stores are closing.
That means the good news for you. You can go buy all the products and stock it up in your house.
No, but then there won't be more Bed Bath and Beyond stores. No?
Well, you don't have to. They'll have it online, Father. It's easier for you. Anyway, you don't
That's
go to
true,
the store.
actually. Actually,
Anyway,
that's
you
true.
don't go to the store, so you can
Correct.
actually buy it online.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the stores are going to close out, by the way. That's my prediction. Only thing sad about the whole thing, I hope people are listening right now to just say that no, all the stores closing, it's fine. Open them up for people for housing. Give affordable housing. Make it housing for people who are homeless. All those things. Close down the stores. We don't want the stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want the stores.
And all these big buildings that are sitting out there, Banajan, which are these so-called
Give it
commercial.
to non-profits like Pragnya. We can use it on one of the buildings.
Exactly. And if you're one such person who's listening to us right now, and you have a building or you have an investment property that you're just sitting there and saying, oh, you know what, I don't want to, I'll sell it for a profit. I'll wait for the market to come back. Think about it. There are so many people, organizations like Pragnya that can use it.
Yeah.
Because we can use that to run programs for developmentally different individuals.
Yep.
And training programs, work-related programs, schooling programs. There's so many things that we can do. So definitely get in touch with us, Banajan. And the website obviously is pragnya.org. And for those of you who like to get a little tipsy, guess what?
You
One
give some
of-
tips for them?
No.
Yeah.
If you are a lover of Coca-Cola,
Uh-huh.
they're tapping into the canned cocktail craze with a boozy version of something called a Fresca Cola.
Yeah.
So it is going to be alcoholic.
They're trying to be, the next breeze out here.
Well, they in partnership with something called Corona Brewer Constellation Brands.
Yeah, more Corona in your life. What else do you want?
Yeah. Oh God, that's true. The companies are going to launch something called Fresca Mixed. It's a spirit-based cocktail later this year.
Definitely going to put you in the spreads, Banujan.
Ugh. Either ways,
The
Manjan.
only spirit you got to be is in spirituality, Banujan.
Correct, exactly. So enjoy this beautiful Sufiana Gana, Banajan, from the movie Rockstar by our very own A.R. Rahman sir. And we'll be back tonight live with the second edition of Rahmania, where we'll be featuring more beautiful compositions of this wonderful musician. Have yourselves a fantastic Friday.
सजरा सवेरा मेरे तन भर से कजरा अंधेरा तेरी चलती ला सजरा सवेरा मेरे तन भर से कजरा अंधेरा तेरी चलती ला अधूरा मिला जो तेरे दर पर से ओ मौला
Hi, this is A.R. Rahman, and you're listening to me on Radio D Hotties with Altu Baba and Faltu Rani, where entertainment keeps getting hotter.
जब कहीं पे कुछ
with Jan for the best in entertainment and the best in music and the hottest tracks ever. You can get it on Radio D Hotties. For more information, go to mediamahima.com.
अखियां दे